Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Your key to the week this week is the Wheel of Fortune. This is a big deal for you. Are you ready for the winds of change to start blowing in your favor? Are you ready for things to start moving you forward? Even if you're not ready for them, are you ready for good things to start showing up? And are you ready for the kinds of changes that you are not in control of? If the answer is no to all of the above, guess what? The universe don't care. Right? All jokes aside, remember we've got this powerful full moon lunar eclipse taking place this week. And whenever there is an eclipse, whether it's a new moon solar eclipse or a full moon lunar eclipse, it's always going to be a big deal for you, no matter what sign it's in, because you are ruled by Luna, our gorgeous heavenly celestial goddess, right? Now, this is a full moon in Taurus. Remember, the moon has dignity in Taurus. She's in her best element there, apparently. But hey, listen, you know me, I'm biased, but I actually like moon in Taurus. I really do, for many reasons. But you've got this Wheel of Fortune card, which suggests that across the board in all these different spaces in all of these different spaces in your life, there are going to be changes or changers changes in the spaces of your life. Sorry, I'm in a really weird mood today. It's just, there's obviously a lot going on, and I'm kind of feeling it in a lot of ways. So, with that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Justice card. Okay, so there's a few things I want to mention here. But before we get into it, if you haven't seen it, your November 2022 Taroscope is up and out there for your viewing pleasure. Don't forget to check those out. Your actions and options, you have the Justice card, which is number 11. You've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is the number 10, right? So these two cards not only follow each other in sequence, so you've already got a speeding up energy that's coming in for you over the course of this week, but the Wheel of Fortune represents universal law, and the Justice card represents human law. So in some way, shape or form, there's a crossover. And the reason I'm mentioning this, I get the feeling that this week, something that you have, it's like we all know what the universal laws are, right? Whether you believe in karma or not, you know that there's a law of return of some sort that takes place, right? You know that if you chuck something up, it's going to come back down. Those are all like things like that are universal law. Something that you've held onto or something that you've committed to over time is now going to start paying out results, rewards, and or dividends, right? And the reason this is taking place is because you have been working within whatever is universal law, and this is where you're going to start to see it become manifest. This is likely to be a week where you are really dedicated to the kinds of change that you want to see in your life. Maybe you're taking something in your own hands. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Seven of Cups. I would be mindful about communication this week, all right? This might be a time really actually to work behind the scenes rather than being really out loud, proud and vocal about whatever it is that you're trying to do or to build or to create. And the reason I say that is the Seven of Cups is a very nebulous energy. Mercury is retrograde, Mars is retrograde in the sign of Gemini. And it's also squaring Neptune. So communication, brain fog, all of that kind of stuff is definitely around at this moment in time. Now, you've got this here with the Wheel of Fortune, which does suggest this week you are going to have to be really selective about what you say yes to. Not just because of the confusion, and this is a card of confusion, trust me, not just because of the confusion, but also it's almost like you're going to want to say yes to everything this week. It's like, yes, I'm going to sample it all. I'm going to, yeah. And you're just going to keep adding and adding and adding. And eventually you're going to break one of those plates that you're spinning. There are too many things on the table at this moment in time. So this is not a week to agree to adding more. And it's also not a week to be putting something out there in a big way. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, quite honestly, if you're thinking about adding more courses, or you know what, I want to take this as well, this is not the week to do it. Sit on it for a week, sit on it for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. If it's limited to a time window, I never tell people what they should do, but I will give you a suggestion. If you already have enough of everything that you have on your plate to get the credits that you need for the year, stick with that. This is not a time to add more, all right? If you're studying, if you're in uni, if you're in any of that kind of stuff, this is not the time for it. You will have time, it's just not right now. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, look, there's a plethora of opportunities here, but you are going to have to be discerning about the right ones. Whatever can be quantified, if you can see it in black and white, then yes, you can go for it. Outside of that, it's all talk. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this may be a time where you're kind of pulling something back because it's not quite ready. All right, so this, like, literally it could be that. Like, this might be a moment where you're kind of like, okay, going to have to reconfigure this because it's not quite hitting where I would like it to. For those of you that are come on brain, retired and no longer working, that Seven of Cups with the Justice card, this I don't feel like actually relates to you. I feel like this is either going to be a friend, a family member. It's like you can see somebody getting into something and you're like, I don't think that's a good idea. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you don't really know how to say it to them or what to say to them in order to get them to see that this is, you're making this decision, you're choosing to go in this direction, and I don't think it's the right one for you. Just be honest, let them know, right? It's the only way that they're going, and it's not the only way, but it's one of the ways that they're going to know that you care about them. If you think it's a mistake, all you can do is share that sort of opinion and leave it at that. The rest is up to them, but it does feel like a lot of you are questioning something this week. For your love and relations, you've got the Ten of Cups, love, relationship, partnership. The home life is good. All right, very good even. For those of you that are partnered and have been for a long time but are not married, this could be engagement. This could be, you know what, we're going to do this. I am going to say if you're choosing to get married, maybe delay it. Like, yes, you know, get engaged, do all of that stuff. If you're planning to get married this side of the year, I would wait. Just my 2 pence. For those of you that are single, look at this, right? Wheel of Fortune with the Ten of Cups. It looks like some of you have been single for a while, right? You're feeling that whole profoundly single business. Look, you've got this Seven of Cups here. I think it's very appealing, and I think whoever it is that shows up now can also be very appealing. You just want to be mindful with that Seven of Cups that you might not be getting this person's full story. All right, I'm, you know, on the positive end of this, it could be, you know, I'm a secret prince, but I don't want to tell anybody because people only want me for my money and my title. Right? Do you know what I mean? It could be something like that, or, you know, maybe they've got money or status or whatever it is. On the heavier end of the scale, though, this could be that this person maybe has a really heavy or sketchy past, potentially one to do with the law and or some legal thing, and that's not to say that you shouldn't date this person because of that. In fact, I always believe the opposite. We need to stop sort of demonizing people because they made mistakes in their past, especially if you can see that somebody's trying to rectify who they are and how they present to the world now and how they behave. Gosh, let people move on from who they used to be, right? Absolutely. But maybe it's so heavy that they, you know, they don't really want to talk about it. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just about kind of being aware that there might be more there than you are aware of at the moment. For your money and materials, you have the Hierophant card. This is not a time to be signing financial contracts and documents. I would say, especially where you're borrowing money from a bank, where you're going for a mortgage or anything like that. The reason I say this is because you see that Seven of Cups with this, that's confusion around the paperwork, it's confusion around the money. This is you, like, I'm going for it, I'm signing this piece of paper, I want to do it, I want to make it happen. Your partner will absolutely be sort of supportive if you're partnered or connected in some way. The Wheel of Fortune, yes, there's luck on your side, but that's a lot of unclear energy. I wouldn't do it. Now, the other thing that I will say to you as well, remember the Hierophant card can represent marriage. So whatever you are tied to financially, married to financially, This week, you may feel some rumbles of change around all of those things. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, your neck, your throat, and potentially your thyroid could be showing up here for you over the course of this week. And then finally, when it comes, again, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, I can just tell you what shows up in the cards. For those of you that are, in fact, for all of you, when it comes to your home and environment, this kind of feels like some of you are, I almost feel like this is one of those times where I want to say to you, like, batten down the hatches. I'm sure you've heard that. Not because there's a tornado coming, but just ride this week out. That's my advice, right? But don't make any decisions, don't sign anything, don't, just wait. See how you feel, how everything looks at the end of this week. You might have a much clearer picture. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.